Hello everybody, just here to talk a little bit about the focus track for our release, An Englishman Abroad. The idea for An Englishman Abroad came about because I started becoming interested in the music of a pretty little known composer called Nicola Matteis. Confusing thing about Matteis is his dad was also called Nicola Matteis, so I call him Nicola Matteis the Younger, just to make sure that everybody knows exactly who I'm talking about, though that's probably not particularly important because most people never heard of him in the first place. On the album there's a concerto by Matteis. It was probably written before he arrived in Vienna. He was born in London round about 1677, so probably sort of a year or so before Vivaldi was born in Venice. But he spent the vast majority of his career at the Imperial Court in Vienna, as well as leading the court orchestra there. He was also charged with writing all the music for the court ballets and the huge number of operas that were produced in the imperial theatres there. On the disc we've included an overture to an opera called La Verità, nell Inganno, which is by Caldara, but from the same opera we've also included some ballet music by Matteis. This is the score that was copied for the Emperor Charles VI, and as you can see we've got the title of the opera up here, and then a load of glorifying stuff for the Emperor, and then at the bottom it says Musica di Antonio Caldara. Then you have a list of who everybody was in the opera. Huge amount of detail there, so it's probably really simple plot to follow. And then you've got a brief bit of detail about the intermezzi that went in between the acts. And then it gives you a huge amount of detail about all the scene changes, etc. And then it says Ballo. Doesn't give you a huge amount, doesn't even give you Matteis' name, but it definitely was by Matteis. Generally speaking, the ballets that Matteis wrote for the court operas would usually be performed at the end of acts, sometimes at the start of acts as well, but generally at the end. And it's quite confusing, this one, because there we go, there's l'ultimo balletto that we have recorded, but if you scroll down a few pages it says fine, and then you get another balletto, which is very strange. This one scored more richly with 4 trumpets and drums. But to go back to our balletto, there are 4 dances, finishing with a dance in a manner of a chaconne. The preceding one was just called Aria. The one before that was a dance for the sultans. And the first one, which is our focus track, is entitled Aria per i Masacari, Aria for the masked people. It's quite interesting when we were working on it, because there are several members of the band that didn't feel that this music lived up to the greatness of La Serenissima, shall we say. Oh, I'm joking. But actually, do you know what? You've got to take it for what it is, and it's a really highly characterised piece of music. And you know, you shouldn't take this kind of music too seriously. By all means, you should give it the due attention that it deserves, but it's a bit of a laugh, so you should have a laugh, right? As with a lot of Matteis ballet scores, this is in a sort of skeleton score, so you've only got a treble and a bass. I added a viola part to this. I kept the violins in unison because he says unisoni there, but I did add a viola part to sort of flesh it out a bit. We were talking about choice of continuo instruments for this, so if you listen carefully, you'll hear a pretty twangy instrument called a colascione. It was the first time I've ever seen one, heard one. Sort of almost sounds a little bit more sort of exotic and Chinese, but make up your mind for yourselves. But anyway, enjoy the aria for the masked people.